December 10. December, oh God, what's the date? Today is Tuesday, so I think it's December 13, 2021. That's what Autumn did. She threw a jar like this big at my head, and it keeps bleeding. Another gauze. It's on my head, huh? You know how much longer? Because they just saw that guy and he got into a car accident. And I've been... This isn't trauma.
I was not here when you arrived, so I have no idea what was stated about why you were here.
I had a jar thrown at my head. It's a deep cut, and it still bleeds. I've been here since 12. I mean, you could see it's trauma to the blood.
Trauma, yes, in terms of your body sustaining injury. Trauma in terms of the national guidelines. There's a whole position outline of what determines different levels of trauma.
So gash in the head is not considered a...
There's a difference. There's emergent trauma, and then there's, we call it the walking wounded. Emergent trauma, according to the national guidelines, must be seen emergent. Right away, immediately. I have to review the statistics that were stated in your chart and talk to the flight command office who handles our designation. If they decide that they need to upgrade you to a trauma status,
I'm surprised they didn't, because I mean, I lost a lot of blood. There was blood all over the floor and going down my face.
Did the police respond to your incident?
Yeah. I mean, I had blood. Look at my clothes. That's how much blood came out of me. And that's not a trauma? Unbelievable that they would say that, but
It is the national guidelines. It is not this hospital's guidelines. It is national guidelines.
well, they did not take the national guidelines into consideration.
They absolutely do. The staff at every trauma center is trained to evaluate the criteria.
Do you want me to take this off right now so you can see what it really looks like?
I have seen what it looks like. You did show me earlier. I am not the one who originally evaluated you. I offered that we would reevaluate the situation, and I would talk to the flight command office.
Go ahead.
Reevaluate.
You can see how much blood I lost.
I understand your frustration.
I recorded how much blood was all over the place. I recorded my face when it happened.
Those are important details.
Oh, I'm gonna put it on frickin' YouTube, but I would like to be seen.
I will advise you only of this. On your personal time, on your personal property, you are entitled to record whatever you choose. In this hospital, you are not allowed to use your phone as a recording device.
Okay.
I offered that I would speak to the flight command office to reevaluate what a patient states according to the national trauma guidelines, to see if they had an opinion different than what our staff evaluated you as you first came in.
Go ahead.
I will. I'm not going to do that with you standing in front of me because you are 100% disabled. So I'm going to ask you to have a seat because I have to talk to these patients as well.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
The president of the Cleveland Police Patrolmen's Association.
I will have the nurse reevaluate.
You been done all day? I can't go there. Freedom now.
We come from Fort Avenue?
They don't consider this trauma.
Huh?
They don't consider this trauma.
I thought you work here.
No, I was talking about them.
Did you work here?
No.
They don't give a fuck. They
Nope.
don't give a fuck.
Nope.
They don't give a fuck.
No, they don't.
Sorry,
Keith Salter.
is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
This is Gina, Calabrese, 440. It is June 21st, 2022 at 1:52 p.m. Thank you. Carl Felice. Hello?
Go ahead.
Hello?
Hi, Ms. Calabrese. This is Carl Felice calling you back. I have Judge Calabrese here along with defense counsel and Lottie Gray, who is a court liaison.
Yes.
The judge is okay with taking your statement over the phone right now, if that's still what you wanted to do.
Yes.
Hi, Gina.
Hi.
It's nice to talk to you. I'm here in court right now, and I just wanted to have the phone and be able to speak with you. I'm going to put everything that you have concerns about on the record, and I just want to make sure that I'm able to hear what you have to say and what your concerns are. So what would you like to say to me today?
Well, at first, it shouldn't be an attempted felonious assault because she split my forehead open, and I lost a lot of blood, and I know I have a scar there. It's permanent. I've tried everything. I've tried organic turmeric, organic cocoa powder, extra virgin olive oil, you name it, it's still there. But I really want to ask her why. What was she? Yes?
You know, Ms. Prosperity is part of my mental health court docket, and my docket is a special docket. So I don't think that you probably would ever get that answer just because there are so many other issues that are in play right now. I think the mental health component is probably the most significant thing that contributed to what happened to you. And I'm so sorry about that situation. And I know that, you know, you must have been very challenging for you to go through that. So I am very sorry, but I don't think you're going to get that kind of answer, unfortunately.
And I understand what you're saying, but she had really odd beliefs about me. All of a sudden, she returned from this 3-night stay in a hotel, and suddenly I'm working undercover. And
Right.
I'm a really good
That's
waitress.
part of the mental, right? That's
Yeah.
part of the mental health. That would be part of mental health issue.
Okay.
Clearly. Okay.
So then no one
Is there
put it
anything-
into her head?
No, that's a mental health component
Okay.
for sure.
Okay.
And that would be why I imagine that occurred, and why that whole situation sort of went from something that would have been just a regular relationship to something that became much more significant under the circumstances. So, I mean, again, I'm sorry that happened. My intention is to, you know, speak with Miss Prosperity now. We are going to have a plan in place for her. She is part of my mental health docket, and I do have a number of people here on my team. Miss Prosperity has served in the military, and she was honorably discharged from the military. So we have a number of resources that we plan to use to try to help her maintain her mental health and her stability, and then of course be on supervision with me. I am going to put a no contact order in,
Okay.
obviously.
Yes.
And you know, I want you to be healthy and safe. If you have any other issues, of course, you know that you can reach out to Mr. Felice. There is a victim of crime compensation fund. So if you have any medical bills or anything along those lines, you know that that's something that you can apply for in the future. My great hope is that Miss Prosperity maintains her mental health, and that she is stable, so that we can all be safer in our community. And if not, then you know I have a prison sanction that I can impose. Although I want you to know she spent a great deal of time in jail and or at the hospital already.
Okay.
Okay.
And I just want to know, has this been downgraded to attempted felonious assault?
Yeah, the plea was from a felony 3, or from a felony 2 to a felony 3. Yes.
Can you please put it up to the felony 2, because it was not an attempt. It was a full-blown assault.
No, so it's a plea agreement. It's a compromise between the state and the defendant, and ultimately what the final language is sort of like a legal. It's not. We know that it was a felonious assault, so we understand that you were injured during the course of the case. This was sort of a way to kind of come to a compromise so that Miss Prosperity could continue to have services and work with the VA and my mental health court, but also to have consequences in the event that there's a violation of any kind of supervision and or any contact with you.
Well, but the thing is that by making it an attempted felonious assault, it downgrades the seriousness of the amount of mental health supervision that she needs.
No, it doesn't. Mental health supervision is the same if it's a felony 2 or a felony 3. The only thing that changes the amount of prison time that could be theoretically imposed at the end.
But she needs that prison time. I have a scar. It's not going away, and it's even swollen right by my eyebrow. That's there for the rest of my life, and I'm not someone, hey, if I was some loser drug addict, I'm not. Chemicals never enter my body. So now I have this scar on my forehead, and that's something that shouldn't be there.
I understand.
And so the fact, because not only did the staff not do anything when she was pounding on the locker, they just said, you take care of it. Now I have the court who should say, yes, I'm going to step in. The court is saying, well, yeah, we're going to step in, but we're downgrading this so that it never happened. Because that's what attempted felonious assault is. Attempted means it never happened.
So I am the judge, not the prosecutor, and I'm not the defense attorney. So when the lawyers come in and they make an agreement with a plea, I listen to the plea and I accept the plea, and then I create a sentence. So in this case, I'm not downgrading what happened to you in any way. Ms. Prosperity has been in jail for almost a year of time, where she's been stabilized and receiving mental health intervention. And in no way, shape, or form would I ever consider downgrading what happened to you.
But it is being downgraded. It is being downgraded because you are taking away the.
I'm the one that has heard the information, so I'm not downgrading anything that has happened to you. And I want you to know that I've taken everything that you said into consideration when I'm moving forward with the plan at this point. All right?
Yeah, it's wrong. It's wrong because it's not an attempt. She assaulted me. There was no attempt. She jumped off of that bed. All of a sudden, there's a human being throwing a jar at my forehead.
I understand. So thank you very much for your input. I'm going to put everything that you've said onto the record, and I'm also including a no contact order in my entry. And I want to again reiterate that the Victims of Crime Compensation Fund, you can contact Mr. Feliz and he can direct you to one of the victim advocates. Okay?
I mean, this isn't okay at all.
I understand that you're not happy. I'm only suggesting to you that I'm going to put everything that you've said on the record, and I'm going to make a record of all of this information for you. And then I understand that you're not happy. Ultimately, sometimes my job is making nobody happy, and it's a sad situation all the way around.
No, your job,
my docket is a special docket, and it's unique for our area because I deal specifically with people that have mental health issues.
No, your job, okay.
Different than a regular kind of a court.
Okay, but you feel sympathy for Autumn Prosperity with the mental issues. You feel sympathy for her. She assaulted me.
And I feel sympathy for you as well.
Okay, but I don't need sympathy.
Both of those emotions.
Okay, I don't need sympathy. What I need is justice, because I have a scar on my forehead. I don't need sympathy. I need justice.
I understand.
And that's your job.
I think that this plan will accomplish both of the things that we are interested in.
No, it doesn't, because you're saying attempted felonious assault when there's a scar on my forehead. That's an assault.
All right, well, I'm going to turn things back over to the prosecutor now, and I will make sure that the entry includes that no contact order. Thank you. Go, Mr. Feliz.
Ms. Prosperity, Ms. Calabrese, we are about to go on the record. I'll give you a call once we're done, okay?
All right.
All right, thanks.
which means
Well,
that
she chose to be a judge.
that's right. So she chose to be a
It's not
judge,
just a mental health thing, it's the judge, any judge.
and she chose that.
Yeah.
Okay, no one told her to. She chose that. So now she actually has a felony 2 case in front of her. This is permanent disfigurement. So she needs to now follow through with that. Otherwise, she should have picked someone else to do with it in her life.
Well, Carl thinks she doesn't have control over Carl. Remember, these are all little silos.
Yeah.
He's in the prosecutor's office. She doesn't control the prosecutor's office.
So then this was a deal between the prosecutor and the defense attorney.
Yeah.
See, that's why I think there was, because the investigator is, my understanding, was the Cleveland Police Department. No video was requested, nothing. So this was.
Did you have it?
I do.
Did you tell Carl?
Yes.
And he didn't?
No. So her whole thing of there possibly being a little trick involved, because if, I don't know, you don't think she got any visits from anyone in that hotel room for 3 nights?
Her name is Autumn. You tell me.
Autumn Prosperity. What I'm questioning is, during those 3 nights, did she have any invitees over?
Of course.
Of course she did.
She's a whore and a drug addict.
You know her?
No. I'm a criminal defense attorney for the past 15 years.
So I'm.
Anyone in Autumn? Autumn Prosperity. Wow. Crystal, diamond, any jewel, any season.
I firmly believe that she had a few guys over, and one or two of them just might have been from the police department, who then said,
"That's fine.
We'll let us investigate this." Really?
That's fine, but you told Carl that you have video.
Yes.
And he didn't do anything about
No.
it. Okay, that's the problem. Not what the police are doing or not doing.
But
the victim told him that you have video.
Yes.
So why didn't he zealously prosecute?
Because if it's true that she did spend time with the cops, those 1 or 2 cops might have said, "Hey, look, let's just, ignore any."
Carl?
To Carl.
He's too new. He's too young. He's not connected like that.
But
he really isn't. He's had the job for maybe 3 years.
Right. So then he could be
But I
bullied.
know him. No, he's just. He hates his job. He hates the Justice Center. All the prosecutors do, except the weird ones.
So why then are they wasting the public's time? Because then they're not going to do their job properly.
Well, they do. They do for the majority. No one wants to stay there. It's terrible.
This is.
I don't feel sorry for them.
I don't either.
Like prosecutors, but it's kind of funny. They make $100,000 a year, and no one wants that job.
See, this is it just seems to me where this person was the actual detective, but this person claimed to be the detective, and then but neither one of them actually investigated it. And then there was a third person, Keith Sulzer, who I thought he investigated it, but he didn't. When the whole time, out of all of these investigators and detectives, the only ones who had looked into it were the cops. When she more than likely had more than one entertained more than one cop within that hotel room. So then they said. So I think, just by what she was saying that night, it was just bizarre.
It was probably 80% true. Gina Calabrese is married to a cop. I'm sorry, I had to say that. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she's a former prosecutor, and she's married to a cop.
Which one?
Which police person?
Yes.
I don't know. I can find it. You can find out. She's on Facebook.
So, the Cleveland police investigated this. They did thoroughly investigate it.
He's a Cleveland cop. I think he's like Westlake or somewhere over there.
But it's still a cop.
Yeah. Blue wall. Better believe it. And she's a former prosecutor. Ballbuster. Now she is judge. Did you vote for your judges?
I did not.
You gotta vote for your judges, or you can end up with these kind of people.
Wow. This is really
Enlightening, huh?
enlightening.
This is my whole world, unfortunately.
And I
did not look for it in front of me.
I'm so frustrated by this whole thing. It's really unbelievable. She wanted to get off the phone with me.
Oh yeah, because she's the judge and you're interfering.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's her lunchtime.
They were all there, the defense attorney, Carl Felice, and her.
Well, they're supposed to be.
So then this tells me this was on the record, and
Okay.
but it might not have been.
I have had hundreds of conferences with her in her chambers, in her office, in the back. I've never had a court reporter there. Other judges, yes.
But not her.
Mm-hmm. So it's not on the record. Maybe they were in the courtroom, where the court reporter generally sits, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Ask him if you can get a transcript of the sentencing. He'll know.
That's true.
If it starts with anything other than, well, a transcript of their pre-sentence conference.
Transcripts.
Of their pre-sentence conference.
Pre-sentence conference.
Yeah.
And is that what this was?
Yeah.
Kind of, really, yeah, it kind of was.
Yeah,
okay, and of the sentencing.
and of the sentencing.
And this is Marcy law.
Marcy's. M-A-R-C-Y.
Apostrophe S. Marcy's law.
That gives victims rights to participate in their case.
Oh, and then this could be appealed. Victim's advocate. Is it possible that her husband is a friend of one of the little tricks? And
She's from Cleveland?
said we're gonna have both of her little tricks of the night investigate this, and so it's gonna go nowhere. That's Cuyahoga County. My last name is Calabrese. All these, there's little favors
My experience with cops is that they're really lazy.
Oh yeah, they're lazy, but they're not all that honest.
No, they're not. They're liars.
Mm-hmm.
It's just too involved for a cop to orchestrate that. It
Yeah.
makes sense in the head,
Mm-hmm.
but they're too lazy to even orchestrate that. They got it out for free, and then next.
Yeah. Do you know any personal injury attorneys who are really, really tough, really good?
Who are you trying to sue?
Who can I sue to make this reversible, to reverse it?
Well, you can appeal.
I can appeal, but instead of suing her,
she made the injury, so ask for a personal injury lawyer. No one else made the injury.
yeah.
And she's not collectible.
No,
Not even on good night.
no, she's indigent.
Indigent.
So, indigent. She's broke. So I'm gonna have this permanent scar, as Dina Calabrese says. Oh, but it'll be okay, because she has no interest. Even if I appeal it, I can appeal it. No problem. But guess what? It's not gonna change.
Well, if the Court of Appeals grants your appeal, then it'll get reversed. And maybe you want to go to trial at that point.
Yeah.
And maybe you make a motion for a new judge because of bias.
Bias for her.
Yeah, her bias. But she's already sentenced you to something, and if the Court of Appeals tells her that she has to do other things, then it's often that it's not often that the Court of Appeals says yes, but when they do, it's often that people get a new judge.
It's often that they do?
Yeah, just to get a fresh look. But you gotta win with the Court of Appeals.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, but it's not a layup.
Yeah. Man.
You really need the pre-sentencing, your pre-sentencing
Transcript.
no, your pre-sentencing refusal
Okay.
on the record. Anything you say now, after the fact, is just, buyer's remorse. But if you told Carl that you don't accept the plea,
I did.
okay.
In fact, it's even in an email when he told me that
good.
that's what he wanted to do. I said, what? I said, I have a scar on my forehead. What? Yes,
So you have a paper trail,
I have a paper trail too.
because that's law 101. The Court of Appeals will only consider what's in the box,
Mm-hmm.
what happened below,
Mm-hmm.
that got put in the box.
Yeah.
Recorded statements, emails, written statements, that type of stuff. Anything that you're complaining about that is not recorded somewhere, they don't care. They only look at what happened.
I also left a message on Judge Gina, on the staff attorney's voicemail box and the bailiff's voicemail box when Carl Felice told me the first time, because there was going to be sentencing a while ago, and I called and I left a voicemail message and I said that Carl Felice told me that this was going to be a felony 3. I said on both of their voicemails that I did not agree with it. This was not a felony 3. This is a 2. It's not an attempt because it actually happened. I got a scar. So that's all. That also exists.
Well, does a recording exist?
Yes, but I recorded
Oh,
the
you
fact
recorded
that
it?
I called.
But you didn't record the call.
I recorded the voicemail that I left.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
I have to learn how to do that.
Yeah. So that does exist.
Okay, that's another piece that's in the box. Call Carl again.
And say what?
Did you get my voicemail?
Yeah, but I mean, I left it already. I left the voicemail already. He's not there. He's in the courtroom.
No, it's over. It's over. These things take 20 minutes.
Okay.
Come on.
And say what?
Did you get my voicemail?
All right. So, Carl Felice.
It's my butt.
It's now 12:39. What time did I hang up? About a half hour ago? When I called, he was there when I was talking to Judge Gina Calabrese.
Hi, you have reached Carl Felice.
Okay.
Just keep it going every half hour.
Okay.
And just ask him, did you get my voicemail? And
Okay.
he'll say no, and you'll say, I'll call back. Or he'll say yes. And then you say, what do you think?
Okay.
Don't bring it up again. If you got your voicemail, he knows what you said, right? What do you think? And say, well, don't worry. About the fact, I was wondering if the pre-trial conference was actually recorded. Was a court reporter in chambers with you?
Recorded.
Or were you in the courtroom?
Was a court reporter in the chambers with you. Hello.
Hi, it's Carl Felice returning your call.
Hi. Did you get my voicemail?
I just got down in my office and saw that you called a couple of times, so I just called you back.
Was the pre-trial conference recorded?
Do you mean the conversation on the phone?
Yes.
With the judge?
Yes.
No, it wasn't recorded. All the parties were present to listen to it,
Mm-hmm.
but the judge did put everything that was discussed over the phone on the record subsequently.
Okay, so then my statement that I didn't agree with this being dropped down to a felony 3 was not recorded by Judge Calabrese as she's talking to the victim.
The phone call earlier was not recorded, no. But I was listening to it, the defense counsel was listening to it, the judge was obviously on the phone, and the court liaison was also listening to it. And then once we went on the record, the judge put all the information that was said on the phone on the record. So she did say on the record that you were obviously unhappy with the way things were going. And
No, not unhappy.
what was said on the phone.
Not unhappy, that I objected to it.
Okay, either way, it was everything that was said on the phone was indicated on the record after we hung up the phone. Like I said, we were going to go on the record after the phone conversation. That's what we did. Everything was, your thoughts and opinions on the case that you mentioned to the judge over the phone were put on the record.
The copy of the sentencing, am I going to receive that? Is that also, can I have a transcript of that?
So, as for the sentence, the judge sends to 2 years of community control, mental health supervision, and no contact with the victim, and she'll get all the services and all those things that the judge mentioned to you over the phone. There'll be a journal entry on the public docket. I think the judge does her own journal entry, so it'll probably be up by the end of the day today. If not, definitely by the end of the week here. So if you look up the case on the public docket online, there will be a journal entry in there for the sentencing hearing that took place today.
Okay, but is there a transcript of the sentencing hearing?
Yeah, so the court reporter records everything that's going on during the hearing. So there is a transcript of it, but it's generally not going to be available to the public.
And I would like to appeal this.
Okay. Well, you weren't a party. You weren't a party to the case. As I explained previously when we talked. So the plaintiff is the state of Ohio, which is represented by the prosecutor's office, and the defendant obviously is the other side of the case. They have attorney representing them. That's the two parties that were involved in the case. Now, yes, you are a victim on the case, but you are not the plaintiff on the case. So only a party to the case has the right to appeal a decision. So that you can't really, because you have no standing to appeal because you're not a party to the case. So if the prosecutor's office could appeal a ruling, or the defense could appeal.
Okay.
Because they're both parties of the case.
Okay,
so,
then do that. Hello?
We're not going to do that.
Why not?
Because we agreed to a plea agreement.
No, we didn't.
The defendant was sentenced on it.
No, we didn't.
The prosecutor's office did.
Okay, but I did not.
Well, again, you're not a party to the case. So while we do talk to victims and gauge their opinions on things, we ultimately don't have to follow the victim's opinion on it, because we're the client of the state. We're not the client of the victim.
And what do you say about the permanent scar that's on my face, on my forehead? You have anything to say about that?
I'm sorry that that happened to you. Obviously it's not a good situation that happened, but no one at all is disputing that you had an injury. No one is diminishing that there was an injury. And the defendant has a felony on her record now because of it.
She has
what I can say about that.
She has a felony 3 when she should have a felony 2.
Regardless, she has a felony on her record because of it. That's what I can say about it.
Who's the court liaison?
Her name's Lottie Gray. She works with the mental health docket and kind of decides what services or housing and things like that defendants will be set up with who are on the mental health docket.
And how may I have a name and phone number of a victim's advocate?
Yes, So what I can do is I'll task the victim advocates in our office, and are you talking about the crime fund the judge mentioned?
Not the crime fund, like someone who can actually just be there on my behalf, and how come I didn't get one to start with?
Well, because we usually assign them, all the victim advocates do is communicate with you about the case,
right.
Which I was essentially already doing.
But you weren't doing it on my
if you
behalf.
want services or counseling or things like that, they can also point you in the direction of a service that they can set you up with, or they also can help you with the Victims of Crime Fund, which the latter two, the crime fund and the services, I can still have one of them contact you if you're interested in either of those things. But as far as the communication, I was communicating with you about the case, so it wasn't really necessary to have an advocate do the same thing.
Okay, and do you believe that Marcy's Law was applied in this case?
Yes.
Okay, and explain that.
Well, I have had numerous emails and phone calls with you throughout the pendency of the case, so you were aware what was going on.
Okay, and how else? Because if you're not representing me at all, and yet Marcy's Law protects me, especially how then was Marcy's Law applied?
Marcy's Law gives you the right to be present at any hearings and be involved in conversations about the case, to know what is going on in each case. Other than that, as far as being represented, again, you weren't a party to the case, so
now
the only obligation that the prosecutor's office has is to update you about the case, make sure you are aware of your right to be present and make a statement
in a timely manner.
Today you did give a statement to the court over the phone, as it happened earlier. I've sent you numerous emails and talked to you on the phone numerous times throughout the pendency of the case, so it was complied with.
I wasn't. Shouldn't I have been made aware of the sentencing in a timely manner, and not with just maybe a few minutes before it happens?
Yeah, I mean, nobody's perfect. I have 100 cases, so as soon as I knew that sentencing would be a possibility today, I gave you a call, and you were able to still make a statement to the court.
But I wasn't able to change the judge's mind because it was already made up for sympathy for A.Prosperity, and you had absolutely no interest to change the judge's order.
I'm not really sure what you're trying to say. You could have easily said the same thing in person, and it could have gone the same way. There's no guarantee that any statement made by any victim is going to actually change the mind of a judge, and no judge, I don't think, makes a decision until the actual sentencing date, and he or she has reviewed all of the reports from the pre-sentencing investigation, what the state and the defense have presented about the case, what probation officers have said about the case, and you were able to make a statement to the court today, so that was taken into the consideration by the judge. But ultimately, it's the judge's decision at the end of the day.
You could have absolutely refused to any type of deal to downplay the assault. You could have made that argument with the defense attorney that downplaying this to a 3 was unacceptable.
Well, I talked to you previously on the phone about the deal, the deal that was negotiated. So I don't have anything else to say about that.
All right. Okay.
Okay. Did you want me to have a victim advocate reach out to you for any kind of services or the crime compensation fund?
Okay, that's fine.
You would like that?
Yes.
Okay, I'll task one of them to reach out to you, and they'll be in touch about that.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Have a good one.
You too.
You don't have to follow through with the victim's advocate, okay?
Okay.
But you're complaining that you didn't get one, so.
I want for her to be punished at the proper level.
She has 2 years probation.
2 years probation. She's been in and out of jail. When then Gina Calabrese had to throw in that she was honorably discharged from the military. To really, give this female who has been in and out of jail kudos.
I believe that she was, Your Honor, and she certainly has the throwing ability to show me that she was well trained in the art of assault. I feared for my life, Your Honor. You're not as nefarious as you need to be.
I repeated over and over again. She plummeted a glass jar at my forehead.
Why didn't you want to go try?
I wanted to be at trial.
Well, why didn't you want to take this to trial?
I didn't have a choice in anything.
Of course you do.
Carl Felice took this period, and he said, yeah, you were the victim, but you're not. You heard him say it just now on the phone.
Well, he said you're not the plaintiff.
I mean, yeah, you're not the plaintiff. I mean, you are, but you're not. So that means that, yeah, sure, you were feloniously assaulted, but that doesn't really make it onto the record. That's basically what it is. Mm-hmm.
It's your criminal justice system.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Yeah. No, it's disgusting.
It's absolutely disgusting. I have a scar and she gets 2 years probation. I mean, we're talking, she had some weird thoughts.
Good things don't come to bad people. They really don't. And cheaters never win. They don't. Trust me. I have known hundreds of cheaters.
And I believe that too. I really do.
No, but it's true.
Yeah.
It's not even a belief anymore. I just see it time and again.
Yeah.
You got processed. Is that justice?
No, it doesn't feel like it.
No, it doesn't.
I was just on the paperwork and you're right, I was just processed.
Yeah. But you're not alone. You're not alone.
I don't care.
I know. Oh, yes, you do.
No, I don't care whether I'm alone or in a group. I just care about the fact that this case is a felonious 2. It's not a felony 3.
Well,
it's a felony 2. And whether I'm in a group
says,
or just one, doesn't matter.
The journal entry says it's an F3.
F3, right.
So legally it's an F3.
Right. Attempted felonious assault.
There's no such thing. They only have the attempt statute to get it down a level. But there are some things that you can attempt.
Yeah, you either.
Oh, here's a good one. Attempted receiving stolen property.
Oh, attempted receiving. So it somewhat like what, Amazon came along and took it?
Or like, I almost got in the truck, but it mysteriously drove away.
the emergency braked and the vehicle just started driving itself, and I
was really trying to get the car door open, but then it rolled down the hill.
Yeah.
I attempted it.
So rulings like that occur also then.
Oh yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Isn't it eye-opening? And again, you and I are the lucky ones, right? I'm not kidding. I don't know if you care or not.
How?
I don't know you from Eve.
How?
Because we're educated, so we can negotiate the system, even though we can't, because the system is against us.
Well, we can try to, but you heard me and it didn't do any good.
I know you negotiated everything you could. At least you tried to, but you knew what buttons to push.
I know what I'm thinking.
It could be.
And I think it is.
And you're right, this is Cuyahoga County.
Yes.
I'm not from here, thank God.
I grew up in Cuyahoga County, and I know my father's cousin Tony Malorano, Bondra Brothers Construction, Jimmy DeMora.
The whole Italian crew, I guess.
Okay, and every court and every judge, you know, it's Cuyahoga County.
Does it help you to know that Gina Calabrese's cousin, Philip, was on the bench with her for about a year and a half before he got elevated to federal judge?
How does that help?
It doesn't, but odd. He was on the bench. He worked at Squire Sanders downtown.
Yeah.
Then he got appointed to the bench by DeWine. He's Republican. And he was there for a year, maybe 2 years. And all of a sudden now he's a federal judge. Confirmed by the Senate for a lifetime appointment.
Who did he know?
I don't know. It's her cousin. That's her cousin. That's her
So
actual
then who
cousin.
did she know?
Well, I don't think anyone.
So you don't think that it was a who knows who, and let's
Oh.
we could bump him up?
Yeah, that's how you get.
That's
to be
what
a
it
federal
sounds
judge.
like.
That's how you get to be a federal judge.
Wow.
Yeah, that's purely political.
So he went from a county.
Squire Sanders. No,
County.
he went from Squire Sanders.
Now what's Squire Sanders?
It's a big firm downtown.
Okay.
A big civil law firm. He went from there to federal judge in 2.5 years.
Wow.
Lifetime appointment. District
So
judge.
he knew someone.
Oh yeah. I mean, smart.
Yeah, but he knew someone.
Yeah. I don't remember who sponsored. Well, DeWine. Who's a Republican senator from Ohio? Is it like Jim Jordan?
I
Is he a senator?
I don't keep track of them anymore.
But one
I
of them
don't.
had to sponsor.
I don't think about. Oh, one of them had to sponsor.
Portman, I think.
Oh.
Portman probably sponsored.
Oh, now that sounds like Portman. That sounds like Portman. 100% right away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't-
Let me just put. Yeah.
I would take Sherrod Brown's endorsement for sponsorship, but not Rob Portman.
Oh, but Portman was. Yeah.
I don't look gross. And I'm coming from New York City. And I moved here, and it's like, oh.
Cuyahoga County, you're busy.
I'm busy? I'm like 30%.
But you know about all the scumbags.
Oh, I know about
There's a lot of them.
I know about everything, yeah.
And it could.
They never let me be an insider. Aaron Flanagan. And they never let me be an insider.
If it was like maybe
What, Aaron Gallagher? Aaron Corrigan?
Igiano or something, you might. But then they'd have to take a good look. Will she or won't she?
Shaughnessy? I mean, it's all the same.
See, I won't, and so
I won't either.
you can put $1 million in front of me and said, we can change your life, little girl, and I would tell you where to stick it.
If it was 50, I might
Nope.
give it a listen.
There's no amount of money. So I'm in the wrong county.
Yeah. Everyone's in the wrong county except those people. I knew that this place absolutely was not for me. I was considering running for judge. I was
Cuyahoga County. Wow.
Being pushed toward it. And I'm like, yeah.
Wow.
Maybe. But then I sat down with the local Democrats. He asked me for $15,000 toward my campaign. And I'm like,
That they would split among one another.
I'm like, no, I could fund my own campaign. I mean, I'll toe the party line to an extent. I'm more Democratic than Republican, true, but I'm not entirely. But, you know, I can fund my own campaign. Well, no, in order to get the backing, we're going to have you give us $15,000.
They won't support you. They wouldn't support you unless they received $15,000.
And they'd manage it for me, and, you know, I'm new here. They make sure I met the right people. I don't want to be a judge.
Make sure you met the right people.
Make sure I don't want to be a judge.
Which is too bad, because I think you would be of great benefit to the court system.
Well, I hope I am as a criminal defense attorney. I don't.
But you could do so much more if you were a judge. Maybe not in Cuyahoga County. but if you decided to ever be a judge, I think it would be wonderful.
Thank you. I don't condone crime. Don't think that's why I do it. I do it to keep, like, the Carl Polices and the Mike O'Malley's, his boss, in check.
Yeah.
And the Dina Calabrese to say, I do this to say no to Dina Calabrese.
Yeah.
Said no to her last month, and she totally spanked me. She's a control freak.
It sounded like that. It very much sounded like that on the phone. She is a control freak, and she
a former prosecutor, because you're guilty. Well, you're not guilty, but she's not guilty enough. She's in the military, and nothing really happened to you. And I'm so sorry. Get some oil of Olay.
Yeah.
And let's
Yes.
just keep it moving.
Yes, and that's pretty much what she was saying to me, not in those exact words, but the whole thing of, I feel really bad for you was just like, I don't need sympathy, I need justice. And you're a judge.
And she doesn't feel bad for you.
No, she doesn't. Oh, no.
She's so
No,
disingenuous
no.
that way.
I
You
heard
never
it.
even met me.
I heard it in her voice, but she thought she was saying the right words.
Yeah.
Not to me. Sorry, I'm not one of those little girls. And then when she saw that I wasn't backing down to, no, this should be an F2. That's when she's like, okay. I feel really bad. Goodbye. She couldn't wait to get off the phone with me.
Yeah, because she can't handle reality. Makes her own reality.
She makes her own reality.
And imposes it.
I heard that, and she does not like a strong, especially a strong woman, talking to her.
No, I know.
She can't handle it.
I know.
That conversation then has to end immediately, and that's what she did.
And as a lawyer, you have to do what she says. Or she, for example, kicks you off a case that the client wants you on.
She
That was
could
last
do
month.
that?
No, she can't do that. But she did it. I brought it all the way up the chain.
She threw you off a case that your own client wanted you on.
Because I wouldn't sell him her result. So she kicked me off, and she put someone else on who would do her bidding. And they did. And my guy's in prison now. He's still my guy. To me.
What did he do?
Sold drugs. Drug trafficking.
For how
Again, just go over there. Completely different world. No one died. No violence.
But
No money, no education. It's an every hour thing.
I could not be a criminal defense attorney.
Oh yes, you could. When you see the injustice. I didn't mean to do this, like I said.
Yeah.
I did a couple cases, and it's like, wow, this is messed up. So I did a couple more, and now that's all I do.
Do they ever give a reason why they're selling drugs besides money?
Mostly they're addicts.
They're addicts.
Themselves.
Do they ever?
And so the money, they're not like then going out and buying Beamers or anything. They're buying drugs for themselves.
So then does someone like Judge Dina Calabrese ever then order that they go through a drug treatment program to help them?
Well, she's on the mental health docket, so she should.
But does she?
I have a guy right now, and she's not going to. She's going to ship him.
She's going to ship him where?
It's prison.
Within prison, is she going to then order that he receive any type of drug treatment program, or is he just going to then be actually, because it's going to be so rough for him in prison, are things going to then get worse for him?
Well, first of all, he's been taking drugs with his mother since he was 12.
Wow.
So, second of all, once the judge is done,
Yes.
it goes to the Bureau of Prisons, which has nothing to do with the judiciary.
And she knows that.
Yeah, that's the executive branch. No, so it's out of her hands.
So with her knowing that, she knows that she's sending this human being off who was put in a position since he was 12 years old, that started his route in life, 12-year-old child, and she
Black and destitute.
She knows,
Yeah.
take that into account also,
Yeah.
she knows that once she sends him to prison,
He's out of her hands.
he's out of her hair. So this mental health judge
And my guy has PTSD. He's been shot. He's been beat up. He's been to prison before. He's been beat up. He has a host of mental health ailments.
And there is no other judgment that she could have brought against him?
Sure.
Like what?
She could send him to a program, to a different place other than prison. It hasn't happened yet. It's in 2 weeks. But she's already told me in the back room
That it's going to happen.
Prosecutor, that she'll probably ship him. Like, Your Honor. And I speak out, I speak out. That everything you just said, at the 7th grade level, because he was abused as a child, mentally, socially, psychologically, and sexually, by his father and his father's family. Because his mother and father are estranged, because his father turned out to be a weirdo, got married to this, and so
my God.
the court, his mom, who's good, ran up against financial difficulties.
Yeah.
So the court took him away and put him with the dad after the sex started.
After the sex started.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing that his father was sexually abusing him, they put him with his father.
And the whole family, his whole family.
Oh my God.
His stepbrothers, his stepsisters.
And Judge Gina Calabrese knows this.
Yeah. He has a bad institutional record.
Well, so does A.Prosperity.
If you're stuck in a 5-year-old's body, if you can't read past the 7th grade level.
Started at 12 years old to do drugs and then was sexually assaulted by your father and his family.
Right.
But A.Prosperity.
So you put him in a cell.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think he's going to yell a little bit?
Mm.
Don't you think he's going to be recalcitrant toward any kind of anything, any human contact?
A.Prosperity also went through things. A.Prosperity has been in and out of prison. A.Prosperity just assaulted me, threw a glass jar on my forehead. I have a scar, and A.Prosperity has been bumped from a 2 to a 3.
Mm-hmm.
So how come
with walking papers?
With walking papers. So how come she isn't doing the same thing for this
Because his institutional record is so bad.
But so is A.Prosperity.
I know, but he's not cooperative. You're reading pages A that I don't have, and B, you don't know him, because the prisons will, all the infractions are collected, and we don't. No lawyer gets that unless we beg for it. And so I asked her for it, and she said, "I'll get it to you later," right?
And she hasn't.
She's not. No, this was just yesterday though, and she's. He hasn't shown any willingness to cooperate. Fuck, bitch, neither would you.
Right.
He has been wronged his entire life.
Oh my gosh.
He's 27 years old. He's 27 years old.
He's 27 years old.
No kids. No violence.
He was sexually assaulted
by his parents and stepmother and the whole step family, where he was put in because his mom was destitute.
And Anne was on drugs.
No, not his mom.
But
his mom.
Who's the one who he was doing drugs with at 12? The stepmother?
Mm-hmm.
So
that whole house is toxic.
Okay, wait a minute now.
Yeah.
So his actual birth mother wasn't on drugs.
No.
She didn't abuse him.
No.
She just fell onto hard times.
Yeah,
the court, instead of saying, let all of our services help you that are within Cuyahoga County, they said, well, we're going to take this baby away from you. 12 years old is a child, I'm sorry, and we're going to put him in this abusive home, and then we're going to punish him for the rest of his life as he's trying to forget about the past that he can't forget about, but he's trying really hard with the drugs.
Yeah.
But he can't.
No.
He relives it all day, 24/7.
I know.
And Judge Gina Calabrese has this information.
Yes. I'm probably going to ship him. I work with Lottie Gray, she's doesn't work for the judge. She is the mental health unit.
Mm-hmm.
So she's not really relevant to your case, but she is to Denzel. And we got done with that meeting, and I'm like, Lottie, she's like, I know, but she's getting better. She's getting better.
She's not getting better.
And I told her I don't care.
She's heartless.
I don't
She's
care.
conceited.
She's controlling.
She's controlling.
She's really arrogant.
Very, very, very much so.
Have you ever met her?
I have never met her.
Have you ever seen her?
Just her picture that's on the website. Wow.
So, I'm scrambling to get him alternative programming. I mean, he could kill himself in prison.
He probably wants to kill himself. There's probably every
hope
part
is gone.
of his being who wants to, that
Hope is
just wants to get everything haunting him. He wants it gone.
And so
Oh
once
my
you're
God.
found, you can never carry a gun again. That's the law.
Yeah.
He carried a gun, and he got caught with it. Okay. I didn't even know this until yesterday. He did his plea yesterday, and the judge, Gina's like, "Well, why did you have a gun in the first place?" And he kind of looked around and weighed, should he tell the truth or not? And I believe he told the truth. Although I never asked the question. I mean, you live off Kinsman, you're gonna have a gun.
You're gonna have a gun. Yeah, you're absolutely gonna have a gun.
Yeah.
And for her to ask that question is ignorant. He lives off of Kinsman. He's gonna have a gun.
Judgmental. Why'd you have a gun anyway? To live. And it turns out that the woman he's with, who has 5 children of her own, which is why he doesn't have any children. He's helping her raise those 5 children from 3 different guys. It's not a judgment on her, but really on the guys. Her current boyfriend told them that he's going to kill her. He's going to kill Denzel, and he's going to kill all the children.
Wow.
And so about 2 weeks ago, Denzel started carrying a gun.
Does Dina Calabrese know this?
Yeah, he told her yesterday. I was sitting right by him.
And what did she say to that?
And he said, actually, it's not even my gun, it's my girl's gun.
And what did Dina Calabrese say to that?
Nothing.
Nothing. Because in her mind, everywhere is Rocky River or everywhere is Hudson. So she has absolutely no way to even comprehend, because she's so conceited and so self-righteous. She has no way to even comprehend what it's like living off of Kinsman and to be threatened.
Right. I'm going to shoot you. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to kill your girl. I'm going to kill my girl.
And those kids.
And her 5 kids.
Who range in what would age between what and what?
Like 2 to 10.
2 to 10. So from 2 to 10. And he, in his mind, everything started with him at 12. So he's looking at these little children who are even younger than what he was. So after everything that he has been through, his
instinct,
his hold onto what's good, he still has that.
Oh yeah, if you talk to him, he's the sweetest thing.
He still has that.
I'm gonna cry.
And here's this judge who says, up yours. We want to make you harder. We want to make you angrier.
You have a bad attitude when you're in prison.
You have a bad attitude when you're in prison. Well, lady, you got people pounding on the bars and what else? Yelling, screaming, threatening to kill you.
Killing themselves.
I've heard that they even have sex with one another.
Of course.
That's
raping,
raping.
It happens all the time.
And he's already been through that starting at the age of 12. But she thinks that he needs to bake them cookies?
Just, he needs
have bake sales?
He needs a better attitude.
A better attitude. Is he supposed to skip and wash the dishes?
That's why we're here in mental health court, Your Honor, so he can get counseling.
Well, now isn't that a good point?
Yeah.
Isn't that a good point?
It didn't start on her docket. There are 5 mental health judges, and unfortunately, I drew her. She's by far the worst one.
And when you say you drew her,
you asked for a mental health judge, and they randomly assign whatever judge has free, at least on his or her.
Okay.
And so I got her. This is not really better than I could have done.
Wow.
With a regular old judge.
And so now, here we go. And she isn't going to do a thing for him.
Well, I'm going to try. let her kick me off all the cases that I have in her room. But yeah, Warren Jones, that sucked.
Warren Jones.
The one that I wouldn't play with her. I wouldn't feed him her Kool-Aid. Well, Aaron, here's how it's gonna go. You're gonna get him to agree to an F3. Doesn't have your dad right now. And I'm sure that's what CJ faced, was the judge telling him what he was gonna do. But she's telling me a criminal defense attorney.
So you think that she probably told Carl Fleece, this is what it's going to be?
Yeah. Yesterday she told me, Aaron, go see your guy and get 2 F3s. But Your Honor, those are the highest charges that he has. I know, but go get 2 F3s. And
Wow.
so he got 2 F3s.
And what happened?
11 other charges dismissed.
And what happened?
Well, he's set for sentencing in 2 weeks.
Okay, but what was the
conversation?
What was the assault? What was the crime?
No, carrying the gun.
Oh, carrying the gun. Okay.
As a felon.
Right.
Once a cop pulled me over. What are you doing, racing? I'm like, officer, there's no one to race. I just want to go home.
Yeah.
All right, we'll slow it down a little. If I was a black guy,
Especially through Mayfield Village.
and I was still in Cleveland, but I was nearing Brettenall. If I was a black guy, I'd be at that car. I'd be
Yes.
up against the car.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
There would be like 3 other cop cars.
Absolutely. And it definitely depends on where you're driving through.
Oh yeah.
Like Hudson or Mayfield Village, 100% it does.
Yeah. Yeah, very much so.
Solon.
Yeah.
These cops will look at the color of the skin in that car and bam, what are you even doing driving through there?
Mm-hmm.
Then they want to all of a sudden search your car. Well, did you steal anything while you were here?
Where's the gun?
We need to search your vehicle. Just by driving through, that person would literally be all of a suddenly have cop car lights around him, and this person now is thinking, well, oh shit, I just want to go home.
But am I going to get shot?
Am I going to get shot? Am I going to be arrested when I am just trying to go home?
No, they don't care about that. They care about, am I going to get shot?
Am I going to get shot? Wow.
Remember, these are younger people.
Yeah.
So they've seen the George Floyds and the Tamir Rices and all of the everyone. Mr. Phelps.
People like
that got followed by, what was it, 157 cop cars up Euclid. Remember that, like 4 years ago? Melissa Evans, because their car backfired in front of the Justice Center, and thought it was a gunshot. You saw that on the news. 157 cop cars following them up Euclid, and then they trapped, and all of a sudden they're black. Not all of a sudden, and there are all these cops behind them. They got trapped in one of the school parking lots up there.
Yeah. What about the 180 bullets that were plummeted into the unarmed vehicle in 2016?
That's it. There were officers, I don't want to say that. There were cops on the hood shooting into the windshield.
Yes.
Backfired down here.
The only thing
Down there.
The only thing that sticks with me is that 180 bullets. You thought that the people were going to come back to life after the first one, the second one, the third one, the fourth one. I mean, at what point did you say, okay, they're dead?
And why are they dead?
And
why are they even dead?
Why are they dead? Why did you even shoot without saying a word? Because if they're in their vehicle, that means that you didn't even bother to question them. You didn't stop them. I mean, you didn't.
And no one said that they saw a gun.
No, they were unarmed.
That sounded like a gun.
Yeah, we heard something that sounded like a gun.
2 weeks later, it was backfired.
Yeah.
In a crappy car.
And 180 bullets. They never stopped. Rolled down your window.
Can you imagine the terror?
The terror, right?
Like, where do we go? We can't
Where do
stop.
we go? No.
We're dead if we stop.
Yes, if we stop, we're dead. If yes.
And now we're in a school parking lot trapped.
And now we're trapped in the school parking lot. Oh shit! But what did we do? What did we do? I mean, that's all that they kept asking themselves is, what did we do? I mean, they must have heard that their car backfire, and
like 1,000 times before.
And 1,000 times before, and you know, they if anything, if they thought at first maybe that's why, then all of a sudden you see second cop car, third cop car, and all of a sudden they're just being rushed.
You can't stop. You're not gonna stop.
No, you can't stop. You're thinking, okay, this is a little too many cops for just a backfire. They're going to kill us.
Yeah.
They're going to kill us. And once they were trapped in that parking lot, we're dead. There's just too many cops, and they are not here to question us. And all of a sudden, they see this. They see that pointing of the gun, and it's just boom, 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 boom. More than one cop.
Oh yeah, many.
Many.
But it was the one on the hood that really sickened me.
Yes. Yes, they wanted them
Into the windshield.
into the windshield. And then they showed the aftermath of that vehicle. These cops are sick.
They're sick.
They really are.
And that's not one off. I mean, that type of stuff happens.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm fighting that stuff doesn't happen. I try to do my job. And stuff like you don't happen. But you got process. I'm laughing not because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's so pathetic.
Judge Gina Calabrese seems to have her little favorites of those whom come before her.
Oh, sure.
And she seems to know. It's like she has something already, a judgment inside of her of the types of people she likes and the types of people that she doesn't like.
She likes yes men.
Yes men.
And men. She likes men. And remember that a good portion of the criminal defense bar that I do are former prosecutors. Right? That got fired or just got sick of the hours. And so they came over to do criminal defense. How do you do that? You can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, on a Thursday be sending people to jail and have that be your one and only goal. And then on Monday show up wearing a white hat.
And she likes men.
In terms of lawyers.
As far as those who she sentences, does she have, it just seems like from something that's inside of her, when she sees certain types of cases, whoever is attached as the defendant in that case, she has already made a judgment about them just by reading the information without hearing anything. That's what I get from her.
Yeah.
So when she read Denzel's and she read On Prosperity, she hated Denzel.
Oh yeah, I mean he's a
No good, nothing. But she liked Autumn Prosperity right from the start. That's what it sounds like to me.
Well, she was probably abused, and she went into the military. Then she came on hard times.
But look at Denzel.
Yeah, but
He's a guy.
He's a black man.
And
Scary.
But so is Autumn Prosperity.
He has tattoos all over his body. So.
Autumn Prosperity has tattoos.
He's a good-looking guy.
Mm-hmm. Autumn Prosperity has tattoos. Autumn Prosperity, she's a light-skinned black female. But the trial, though, is for the proof. The trial is for. Thank God there was a jury, because if it was just up to Gina Calabrese.
I would never try anything to her. No way.
Mm-hmm. The trial is to hear both sides, and to be questioned.
The trial is to hold the state to its proof.
And exactly.
I'm there at the state's invitation.
So
you go first, state.
Yes.
You tell us why we're here.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And I'll unravel it.
Yes. I think that you're 100% right, though. She told Carl Felice.
What?
This is going to be an F3.
Oh, yeah.
And just shut up, shut up, Gina Calabrese, as best you can, because this is going to be an F3.
Yeah. And Audrey's happy because she got one down.
That's right.
So her client got away from men.
Mm-hmm.
And Carl is relieved because now he can do the judge's bidding. He has to be up there for another year and have all those cases with her. So that keeps that relationship smooth. And he only got put down 1 degree. You know, so you can go down to Mike O'Malley, the head prosecutor, and say, was an F2, got an F3. You know, there really wasn't any injury. So everyone's happy.
There was an injury.
Everyone's happy. Except you.
I bled. I bled a lot.
Except the person who it happened to.
They couldn't stop the bleeding. And then I got stitches. It would be really great if I was actually labeled as the plaintiff. But I'm not. And this is unbelievable.
Again, I'm not laughing at you.
I know.
I'm laughing because this is what I do, and every day it's like this.
And Judge Gina Calabrese.
And no, I don't drink or smoke.
I don't either.
I mean, I probably should after some days, but no.
I'm very proud of the fact that I'm 53 years old, and I don't think I look it.
No, you don't.
I
was
don't
wondering how
drink,
long
smoke, consume drugs. I am as nerdy as it gets.